Hi, this is Dr. Praveen Saxena, and we this during this pandemic. The reason I'm here is I'm going to talk about something about what is basically the coronavirus has to do with the human. See, there is a we are trying to put across a thing hypothesis is the combination thing. We this is it's a big tragedy. We have lost so many doctors. We had the big thousands of people worldwide, and it still caused a great deal of fear among all medical professionals and all. So we talk about something called many human viral, bacterial, fungal infections can simultaneously, and the presence of more than one pathogen increases the morbidity and mortality of the infections. Uh, and we as a trying to work with the integrative medicine thing, I feel that there is one particular thing which has been neglected. Probably it has been not looked into, which is empirical antifungal therapy, which has to be given along with the protocol whatever is established now. And this empirical antifungal therapy was first administered almost 50 years ago in the treatment of hematology patients at high risk of developing invasive fungal disease. And this opportunistic infections following respiratory syncytial viruses has been recognized since 1918 influenza pandemic. And though the major, still, what we believe is, according to the things what we are being over the last few months, what we have been observing is most of the cases of COVID-19 are mild to moderate, and there is approximately a good number of chunk of people thing, which is about 15% of the patients diagnosed with COVID. 10 to 15% require hospitalization and supplementary oxygen, and less than 5% develop a critical disease with ARDS picture. So this ARDS, maybe what we are talking about, ARDS may also be consequence of infection to the other respiratory viruses like influenza, like pulmonary histoplasma, aspergillosis, and this is one of the things which brought me to talk about what exactly is this COVID a hybrid disease, and how we can always, by optimizing something, we can modify the outcomes in this disease. So when we are talking about the pathophysiology of COVID is still not completely understood. It is plausible that you have got immune dysregulation, you have got lung damage stemming from COVID-19 immunopathology, which facilitate this fungal infection, superinfection, in a way that it is partially distinct from the respiratory viruses. What is the kind of thing take home I would like to give you is this is a concept called microvirus. Microvirus is probably due to the genetic fusion, and genetic fusion is basically it enables two independent organisms to merge their DNA and RNA and form a new hybrid. So we believe COVID-19 plus either aspergillus or histoplasma or some other fungal infection with the DNA of the fungus is causing this hybrid. And yes, this fused hybrid is a big issue, and sometimes it's become very difficult to diagnose as well as the treatment as. What we am talking about is I told you about Wuhan. I will go ahead with the some of the things which we felt it was uh, things as such. Uh, Here, I'd like to go ahead with the Wuhan epidemiology studies, which indicate that the invasive fungal infection may occur in between 4 to 5% of the COVID-19 episodes requiring ICU admission. We believe here the co-infections with fungi are more common, and several reports have reported in co-infection with uh, corona, with common fungal infections. There are big case studies, reports, and all that, which I can always share you, and I can show you these particular things. where there is a case study of 99 patients hospitalized with coronavirus. In Wuhan, 5 had significant co-infection with fungi, and mind you, all these people who had super infection with the fungi and all that, they had a deadly combination was there. So most of the people who had COVID along with the fungal infections and all that, the likely chances of getting into ICU and further mortality was quite high in those people. And there are reasons what exactly the mechanisms also we can discuss about that. Let me bring in there is a something about gene fusion. Gene fusion is one thing which we knew. This is in the cancer oncology things as such. It has been established. It's Epstein-Barr virus, you have got papillomavirus, you have hepatitis B and C virus, which what it promotes cancer by integrating the DNA into the human cells. So you have a virus which is a eukaryote, and it doesn't have a cell wall of its own, and it requires a host to stay and prosper, right? This is the way the host is a prokaryote. Prokaryote is something of a cell membrane stuff acid. So this virus requires the presence of a host so that it can multiply and do a good damage and all that. So we had seen Epstein-Barr virus, you had seen human papillomavirus, cervical cancer, hepatitis B causing hepatomas and all that. So this is a known particular thing. Myco invading using this particular stuff into the cells, viruses using human cell. The other thing is you have got viruses can always use the fungus also. I can always tell you about something about mycovirus, and we'll talk about something like mycobacterium. And in the mycobacterium, what I am trying to put across is it's a bacterium which combines with the fungal element and it escapes the phagocytosis, right? It's the mycovirus is also the virus combining using the shield of fungal thing and escaping the thing. Whatever you give a good antiviral, topmost antivirals doesn't work when it is shielded with the fungus elements. So you have got at least 33 mycotoxins, you have got genetic mutations and all that. These are all case study reports, what I believe. So coming back to this, what exactly and how this Wuhan virus, it's postulated again. It's a hypothesis, and this virologists who were searching for the Wuhan virus went into the bat caves and started getting into the things which has called contamination of it's a contamination of fungal elements with the virus, which has resulted in this particular thing. There's no need to be we need not go into how things are happened, but I am giving you a kind of take home. Yes, this is it's a good possibility, and we can work on. And I'll definitely this particular video is made only for the doctors who can understand things and all that. This is not made for the public. This is not a we are talking about gene fusions, we are talking about RNA, DNA, RNA from virus, getting this one with DNA of the either human cell or the hybrid of this particular stuff from the fungus part. And this is how the DNA strand and DNA mutation and the subsequent gene fusion appears. When we are faced with this kind of things, we need to really understand whether this is a COVID-19 or a fungal infection, or it is a mixture of both. I know both of them. It kills many immunocompromised people worldwide. And a word about something like histoplamosis, which is a big invasive fungal issue, as like aspergillosis and all that. And in fact, we had a mucormycosis case which was having along with the COVID. With this histoplasmosis, let's see how the things of events have come, and what are the similarities between both the things. Yes, this it's airborne, number one, and the second one is all immunocompromised people are more vulnerable. You have an incubation period of again 2 to 17 days, and you have an incubation. It results in ARDS in both the things. Fungal infection can cause this histoplasmic and ARDS, as well as the Wuhan COVID-19 can cause that. So, and both the things, they are having similar symptomatology, and they have this is almost identical systemic disease. It manifests as a systemic disease. We all know about that. The way histoplasmosis presents is fever, chills. You have got headache, you have got muscle aches, you have got dry cough, you have chest discomfort, fatigue, and ARDS. Another point about this is both of them can emit volatile organic compounds which the dogs can detect. Now we worked on this particular thing. We knew how a dog can smell out a cervical cancer just by knowing this is a human papillomavirus. You have got a thing. So this volatile organic acids which are liberated, that can be picked up. So from where in COVID-19 this VOCs are emitting, unless it has got a fungal component. Comes back to a thing called microvirus. It was discovered way back in 1962, and you have got microviruses like virus that infect animals and plants. Microvirus requires the living cells of the other organisms that can replicate. So the fungi can be a obligate parasitic as such. So it can always act as a place for virus to stay in that particular thing. Mind you, microviruses have been detected in all the major fungi. These microviruses are adapted to living with their host for a longer period of time, and that the association may benefit both microvirus as well as fungus. This obligate intracellular parasites, this with the microviruses reprogram host cell metabolism in order to replicate with the host cells and avoid antiviral responses. I think these are all the case study. These are the peer-reviewed journals. It has been reported way back in 2015. So this genetic fusion, trying to work with that virus and both the things, making it very we cannot even properly detect, and whatever things we are giving, it's not working. We need to look at this particular thing. So hybrid structures occurred with genetic fusion. These are the hybrid structures which we talk about. A lot of theory in that, but I can always tell you the DNA adducts and DNA DSBs, double strand breaks, and DNA damage is probably a result of this microvirus. Yes, a free DNA, a reason for severe COVID-19 infection. We are faced with some of the cases which are really, really bad, and what was the probably cause of this might be a free DNA. We know that the etiology of COVID-19 is similar to the MERS, SARS, and whatever derived from bat. It brings me to a question: when the bat is absolutely not infected or infected with the thing, it doesn't have any symptoms, while the human being is having so much symptomatology, and there's a big severe cytokine storm. There's so much inflammation happening because of that. So the thing which has been this medical hypothesis in May 2020, it was shown that it is bat has got this pairing because it cannot bring out the violent immune response, but it can produce severe inflammation in the humans because of this free DNA. So this particular fecal sampling on bats and all that was supposed to be cause of a contamination with the histoplasmosis or aspergillosis and all. So this has resulted in histoplasmosis has resulted in a life-threatening condition in immunocompromised elderly patients. So again, a few thoughts about why doesn't phagocytosis neutralize histoplasmosis. See, what happens is that when we have a microvirus, that's a kind of fungal infections, phagocytosis fails. We have seen that in tuberculosis, we know about this particular this nature. Yeast cells of histoplasma are found within the macrophage cells, and the phagocytosis does not always lead to killing, and intracellular habitat particularly paradoxically results in protection of the fungus from other defense. See, this is one of the mechanisms which was described by Williams and Wilkins. They said because this obligate this one because the virus takes a shelter in the fungus, and this fungus with the virus, it doesn't know, the body doesn't know how to manage this. Even if it's phagocytosis, it's the macrophage, and still that infection is persisting and persisting. That's the problem here. And so I just wanted to talk about this is my major this is the microvirus, and we believe that with this microvirus as a microvirus, we feel it is something. When we add in the protocol, see, when we add in the protocol of antifungal thing along with this proper regimen, and we believe I had been working with antifungal a lot for the last 2 decades. We worked a lot in autism and all, and I know the role of antifungals in that particular thing. A child who becomes very hyperactive and all that, give him just antifungal and starts. We see the difference. We don't require any Cisjodon and all that. So what I'm telling was a simple thing. It's probably a, but it's, we had used natural antifungals, we have used synthetic antifungals, I believe, and according to the other people also, the success of vitamin D3 and the success of high dose intravenous vitamin C is probably because of its antifungal nature. This high dose vitamin C is because the role is because of the antifungal nature. See, there is something called vitamin B3, and that is also antifungal. There is something like coconut oil, and which has got an antifungal nature. We tell the patients to go on the diet, low sugar, no milk, and all that. Immediately, the fungal component decreases as such. So the need of the hour here. To all the medical professionals, bear it in mind, all these immunocompromised patients of yours and the patients who are heading towards the ICU and all that, try to see that, follow the diet, follow the antifungals along with the other things. I'm sure it takes a simple itraconazole or fluconazole or nystatin, easily available things, whatever you are. So if we are able to, that micro component, if we can reduce that, see, this is virus is like this. Why this? You have got a virus, you have got a micro component, and most of the times your micro is low, virus is high. You get symptoms and all that, and mild to moderate it goes off. If God forbid, you have got a micro component which is more, and you have got a virus thing, this too acts as a it grows in geometric progression, and the more the micro component, and with this virus, they intrude into the body and they cause that severe systemic reactions of the nature inflammations, what we are saying. So the question here is, it is just, if it is just a virus, you have got it's not very symptomatic, but if you have when we are talking about microvirus, you have a virus as well as this hybridization has occurred, and which is not easily detected and difficult to treat. All the highest antivirals, they are not working. Switch on to the antifungal. This is that is the reason I had appeared after a long time, and I am always available for any questions and answers. I'm there on 98490 is my mobile number. I have a website which is drsaxena and I got one more website called healthyheart.in. And yes, I'm not a epidemiologist or something, but I am keenly interested in the day-to-day management and try to work with some of the cases which have I handle cancer. I try to work on some other nasty cases, all autoimmune problems and all that. And I feel, and if we can always add this protocol to the existing protocol, it will be a great thing. Thank you.